Mistake number 5 was buying a camper.
Hey guys, I'm Alora.
And I'm Dustin.
And we're Likely Lost. And in today's video, we're going to tell you about our top 5 screw-ups we made while full-time RVing.
But before we do that, please take a second to like and subscribe. It really helps our channel grow. We need some people to see us, so the more you do that, the more it'll push us. So let's go.
So the first screw-up that we made was hanging up one of these in bear country. So this past summer, we were living in Glacier National Park the whole summer, and at our campground, we thought it would be a good idea to hang up some bird feeders so that Mochi could look out this window and not be bored all day while we're at work. She can go and like look at the birds. So we got 2 of these like really delicious like peanut butter cherry treats for birds, hung them up on 2 different trees, like where our hammock was, and we thought it would be great. And it was great for a while. The squirrels were eating them, the birds, all that. We came home from work one day and we saw that there was a piece of paper taped onto the door of our trailer, and it said 2 grizzlies were spotted in the campground, be bear aware. And we thought maybe it had to do with our bird feeder, because that morning the bird food was like completely ripped down and the plastic piece for our hose was cracked, and we were like, oh, maybe a raccoon got at it. But no, our neighbor comes out and he was like, did you see the 2 grizzly bears this morning, 5 a.m.? One was on that tree and one was on that tree. And we were like, no, we didn't see those, but how weird. But yeah, that's what happened. We lured 2 big grizzly bears into our campground. We didn't know. But yeah, so that was our first big mistake, full-timing in an RV.
So our second mistake that we're going to talk about today happened in Sedona. We were running down one of the dirt roads trying to find a place to stay, somewhere to park for free. And we've come across this nice little site, a little bit bigger. Bigger than we usually do, but we wanted to park along the back side of it. So we pull into it, we get lined up the best we can blindly, and me and Laura get out to look around. I put the truck in park. I didn't think it was in a big slope, but apparently the slope was enough that as me and Laura were speaking to each other, it was like a movie. The truck just started rolling down the hill with the brake on, and I'm thinking, cat's in there, my house is rolling down the hill, the truck's probably broken, I need to hurry. And I run like it was like a superhero. I run, I jump in, and I slam my foot on the brake real hard. Yeah, I saved the day that day. But definitely always use your emergency brake. Don't ever think that you're fine. I mean, even if it feels flat in the parking lot, put that junk on. It don't matter. Put it on. Your house is going to roll away, hit somebody, kill grandma. Put it on.
The third mistake that we made while full-time RVing actually happened at this campground that we're at right now. So I got out of the truck to help Dustin back into the site that we found, and we have our walkie-talkies and everything. But he had to pull out to straighten out to come back in. And as he's pulling out, I'm watching him like get really close to this rock. I didn't think he was gonna hit it, but he did. And it wasn't a very big rock, but it made the whole camper, I thought it was gonna flip. Like, I was really scared, like watching it, like it's gonna flip. And I'm like, and it was loud too. Like, like when it finally like fell back down, it was like a loud crash. And I was like, oh my God, everything is tore up in there. I already know. And I told Dustin, I'm like, you just hit a rock and I thought our house was about to flip. Like, we were lucky. And he was like, wait, what did you say?
I thought something was wrong.
So, just be careful where you drive when you're RVing. Even a rock, you might be like, well, I don't know if he saw it, but even if you see like one, you're like, I could probably make it. Just don't do it. Just avoid it at all costs. It was scary. Mistake number 4 happened right before we left across the country from North Carolina to Montana. It was the day before we left. We decided to go to Dustin's mom's house to show her the camper, and she'd never seen it before. So we were like, this is a good practice run. So Dustin got everything ready on the outside. I packed everything on the inside, and we went to Myra's. We were happy, we were excited. And so we're driving down the road, and all of a sudden I remember that I left all the paint stuff out because we just redid our bathroom. I left all the paint stuff out, and if you've never pulled a camper before, this thing, I mean, just crap goes everywhere in here. So I was like, oh my God, stop. And Dustin's like, what? I'm like, pull over. I left the paint out. And so I go in, and it was bad. It was just white paint everywhere on our floor, our brand new floor, our brand linoleum, covered in like primer paint. And so in my mind, I was like, there's nothing I can do. It's just destroyed. Like, I destroyed the camper. So I shut the door, and I go in the truck, and I feel like I'm just like emotionless. And Dustin's like, was it good? And I'm like, no, it's not. It's destroyed. It's all destroyed. And so we call Dustin's mom, and we're like, we need your help. Please help us. You need to get the wet vac. So we finish our drive to Myra's house, and Myra, if you're watching, thank you. She gets her wet vac, and she basically cleaned our entire floor. She probably like 4 like wet vacs full of like paint and water, and it was just like, it was all over the place. It was crazy, and she cleaned it up perfectly. And yeah, so if you ever have paint out or any liquids or just anything, really anything, because we had a mistake with coffee that one time. Remember, coffee all over the place. Anything that you don't want to fall on the floor or get everywhere, lock it up and secure it, because it's like an earthquake in there when it's moving. Yeah, that was probably one of the worst mistakes we've ever made. Yeah.
Mistake number 5 is not dealing with your leaks as timely as possible. Your leaks are the most important thing to be fighting. When we first got our camper, first of all, we didn't know how serious, like you kind of knew how serious it could be, but like you kind of imagined that like it can't be that serious sometimes. But basically, when we first got the camper, a couple months into it, we started to have a leak in the bathroom. Now we know where that leak was coming from. At the time, it was kind of an enigma. It was like what is this? Why is this? Where's this water coming from? And it'd be a little pool of water in the middle of the floor. And we kind of wrote it off as like, maybe it's coming out of the shower, but let's look into it a little bit. And we ended up, opening up underneath one of our cabinets so we could see what was happening, where the water was coming from, like draining out from the wall. And it turns out that there was, there's a good amount of water in there, so something was wrong. So we started looking into it. We started with just a light to see if you could see maybe there's a pinhole somewhere the water's coming in. Well, that didn't work. So then we're like, well, maybe we get a fog machine, because we heard on online fog machines could work, and that didn't work for us. So then we start thinking, okay, we need to get somebody else involved. We called some guy to come over, and he said, yeah, just tilt it back a little bit and tell me if it works and send me money. That didn't work. So then we put some tape on there, and we resealed it. We resealed the whole top with like Cool Seal. We ran around the whole edge of it and then did the whole top with Cool Seal just to stop any water from getting in. And somehow there's still a puddle of water. We were focused so hard on the top of the camper that we weren't paying enough attention to like where it was actually coming from. The water actually came from the cable and satellite ports right here on the side of the camper. It's usually located close to your water and city connection and such. But there was a caulking issue there that we could not find. And knowing what we know now, you should always try to like splash test it and watch where the water's coming through a little bit better. Like, that's going to be your best bet to find that stuff. But yeah, we didn't do that in time, and now we're suffering the consequences of it. But that's okay. It's okay. It's mistakes. You learn. You get better.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video of our top 5 mistakes we made while RVing. Have you guys made any mistakes like this, or are we like the only ones? Let us know down below in the comments.
We can't be the only ones.
No, surely not.
But definitely don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you like the video, come back and watch the next one. It means a lot to us. It helps us grow. Peace. Yep, I jacked it up.
It's okay, the birds are
laughing. You dicks. Stop laughing at me.